You know, I thought I was going to rule the world gangbanging and selling drugs and shit because that's the people that I looked up to when I lived in the hood. Those are the dudes I looked up to. They had money. Yeah. Like, they would kick me down some cash. They had gold chains on. They had jewelry. They had cars. They had chicks. They had everything that I thought I wanted. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that was I was like, hell yeah, look at the older homies. How do you get money?
Hey guys, I'm here with my great friend Harlee Newman. He is returning again to our podcast, and we're going to go back and revisit his story about drugs and addiction and being locked up to becoming a successful entrepreneur who just sold a company. He's going to share some amazing stories and insight that you've got to hear. Check it out. Harlee Newman.
How are you?
Good to have you back,
Good to have you back. I'm glad to be back. Let's go.
Good to have you, man.
Yeah.
It's been a year since you've last been on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot's happened.
A lot has happened. A lot has changed, you know?
And your story, I mean, your episode was one of the most viewed videos.
So far.
Yeah.
So far.
On,
yes, sir.
On YouTube. And,
yes, sir.
Caught a lot of attention.
Yes, it did.
Mostly positive.
Mostly positive, yeah, but there's always negative.
We had one fun little story.
Yeah, we did. But that's okay. We might do that. We might do that. If it comes about.
But your story, man, your story of just where you came from, where you've been, what you've seen, and how you overcame that. And you're like, hey, I'm stepping into business and I'm making myself better and I'm changing the family tree.
Yes, sir.
And then you had a pretty cool event transpire.
Yeah.
Within the last year.
Yes, sir.
We were just
it was this year, actually. So I got to sell one of my businesses.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's exclusive. Huh? Not many people know. I'm telling you, I'm serious.
You're the first.
Not a whole lot of people know.
No, nobody really knows.
Yeah, you guys will be the first to hear live on Matt Shoup's podcast. Let's go. You know? But honestly, so I sold one of my businesses. So it was kind of a 3 years in the making.
Yeah.
You know, we had the idea 3 years ago to have a fire suppression business. And like everybody knows, I hustle in silence. Nobody knows a whole lot unless you ask. Because there's always people, like you say, This is how I'm going to put it out there to the world, is there's people that can't do that will talk about people that can do or will do. So those people that can't do because they don't think they can are always going to run their mouth about the people that can do or will do. And then sometimes it gets in there like a little seed, fucks your brain all up. Yep. And then you start to listen.
There's that F-bomb.
Yeah.
There's Harlee's in the house.
Let's go. I'm telling you, right away.
You waited a little long last time.
I did. It was too long, like 15 minutes.
Too long.
Yeah, you came at me too. You're like, listen, it's been 15 minutes.
It's like, where's my boy?
Yeah, there it is right there. But it'll fuck your brain up. Yes. I mean, honestly, especially if you come from like a situation where I came from, where there's, you know, our environment, nobody talked to us positively.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you already have a negative, you have a negative view of yourself in the world already. Your perception is fucked up.
But you and that other person, right, that can't, so they're knocking everybody. You guys come from the same stuff.
Oh, so we do.
What's the difference in how you end up here selling a business and they end up here sitting here on the keyboard sending me messages at 2 a.m, whatever it is?
Okay, let me tell you, because when I was 30 years old, I was still locked up. I know the last time I told you I was 25. Well, when I was 30, I got in trouble again. I was in work release.
Yes.
You know, and I have never read a book in my life. But when I was locked up, I read a book called Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah. And you still carry that around?
I got it right here. Let me show you. By Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Yes. Legit.
Yeah.
So I'm 30 years old. I had the same mindset. I had a fixed mindset, according to the book, right? Yes. Me, I call it broke mindset. Yeah. I had a poverty mindset. Because I came from, you can't afford it, you can't do it. You know what I mean? We will never be able to afford it.
So it's a lot of can't.
Can't.
Never.
Oh, man.
Won't.
I tell my children now, that's a bad word. I'd rather you cuss. I'd rather you say cuss words than say can't.
Yeah.
I'd rather you say, I can't, I'm not able to do it yet. Mm-hmm. And at least try before you say, this is not possible.
Yeah.
Because where I came from, what I'm doing right now is not possible. I mean, let's drop it. Let's keep it real. I was called mentally ill for trying to do what I'm doing. Yeah. You know, by very close people to you. Yes. By close people. Mm-hmm. I'm a mentally ill person right now.
Well, maybe a little bit.
I am. You got to be mentally ill to do this. You know what I'm saying? You got to be mentally ill to think you can run 2 businesses successfully and be a parent and be a dad successfully and be a husband successfully and be an uncle successfully and be all those other hats you wear successfully. You got to be a little mentally ill to think you could do that.
Yeah, and you were so in an environment, I don't know if you'd say drowning is the right word, but you were like inundated in an environment where there was can'ts, don'ts, won'ts, negative. Anybody that had any kind of success was looked at to some capacity. They're either lying, they're ill, they're full of crap. You know, you can't do this. Like, what's the first step in getting out of that? Or how did you do
mindset?
that?
100% mindset. I read this book, I'm telling you right now.
But like, did you read it and then it just changes? Or what did you do
For
after?
me, I read it, but it's a lot of steps. I mean, that's when I was 30. I mean, telling you, I didn't start my painting business till 6-7 years ago still.
Yeah.
So I still had to get out of that mindset. But honestly, that's what it is. You have to understand that where you're at in life is your fucking fault. And if you cannot understand that, then you ain't gonna go nowhere else. Like 100% your fault, 100% my fucking fault. I was telling Joey before this, I said, I started to read this book and it hit me. I had a dream, you know, like I'm getting up at 5:30 in the morning to go to work. I'm letting myself out of jail because we're in work release. And that night I had a dream. And the only thing that stuck with me in my brain is like, it's your fucking fault.
Yeah.
Like all of this is your fault. So I'm sitting there driving to work and I start crying. And I'm like, this is 100% my fucking fault. You know?
Yes.
That's a difficult thing to do because then now I have to look in the mirror and say, well, why can't I have what you have? Or why can't I do this? Or, you know, now I know it's all my fault.
That's hard. That's hard to admit.
Oh,
right?
fuck,
Yeah.
I'm telling you. And
But
then
it's
I
also empowering.
Oh,
when you do.
so let me tell you, I had the goosebumps then. I got them now because I was like, it's my fucking fault. Because like I said, the last podcast, I had a victim mindset. Total victim mindset.
Yeah.
It's everybody's fault. It's my mom's fault because I was mad at her. It's my dad's fault. It's because we don't have family here in Colorado.
Yes.
I don't have any immediate family here. None. Zero. Grandmas, grandpas. I know nobody.
Yeah.
No one.
Yeah.
It's me, solo dolo with my sisters. Honestly, the closest family we have is in New York.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't have the support I need. I don't have this. I don't have that. Look at this other family's raising me. They raised me because my own family didn't want to.
Yeah. So it's always
That's
easier
my
to
mindset.
find the excuse, find another reason other than, hey, man, this
Point.
you're at where you're at.
Yeah.
And maybe you had some circumstances, right, that were thrown at you. Everybody does.
You know, it's my mindset.
But how you responded to them is your fault. You
It's
take
your fault.
action or you don't.
100%.
Love it.
Yeah. And then if somebody's, this is the lesson I teach my children now. Somebody's going to give you words. It's your choice to react to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why would you be angry? You know what I mean? That's your choice.
Yeah.
So if you get angry about something, you got to find out where that comes from. That's a self-esteem issue you have, not somebody else.
Because you were pretty angry.
I was pissed off at the whole world. Hell yeah, it almost killed me. I was mad as fuck. That's how I did everything. Mad. That was my motivation. Mad.
That gets stuff done, though.
Oh, it
To a
does.
certain point,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And that's, and listen, like, you know, we can say what we want to about my parents, but that's one thing I took from my dad. He said, you know, if you're sad, turn it into anger. At that moment in time, it wasn't a good thing. If you're this, turn it into anger. If you're that, turn it into anger. If you're whatever it is, turn it into anger. If you're afraid, turn it into anger. So I did that growing up. Yeah. Not knowing I would turn everything else into anger to motivate me to be mad at myself for having my head shoved so far up my ass all them years. You know what I mean? Like legit.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's a hard thing to do. And that's number one where success starts.
So really realizing heads up your ass.
Head
right?
is up there hard.
Pretty dark and smelly.
Yeah.
Right? Pull it out.
Couldn't
see the
even
light.
install a window.
Clean yourself
You know?
up.
Come on, let's
Yeah.
go.
Where'd you go from there? So when you're driving, you're having that car ride, you're crying. You're like, this
Yeah.
is my fault. Then what? So
Then
you
I say,
realize that.
and then instead I go, well, I didn't know the how question before yet at that moment. So I was like, man, I got to do something different. I don't know what the fuck it is. I have no idea. So I just kept reading this book. I just kept reading the book. I read it like 4 times, honestly.
Yeah.
I read it one time through. Never read a book in my life. And the only reason I picked this book up is because I was bored as fuck. I don't read. I'm not a reader.
And you read
and
this
it said-
when you were locked up?
Yes.
Okay.
Work release. Don't say locked up.
Oh,
Somebody
sorry.
might.
Hold on.
Hold on 1 second.
Apparently there's a difference. We need to educate
There
the
is
audience.
a difference.
Right?
But anyway, so it says think and grow rich. So I was like, I like to be rich. And when you first open up this book, you think it's going to teach you how to make money.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. It teaches you the reason why you're not successful is because of you. You know?
Yeah.
So then I was like, well, if this book showed me that, it's got to show me what the fuck I can do. So then I started understanding how I perceived things.
It's just a lot. It's just a lot about your mindset, right?
A ton. That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's exactly where you start. If you can fix that, then you're good. And that's an all the time thing. That's an everyday thing. You know, as we talk about it, you got that negative mindset. You got to change that every day. You got to work on that every day. You got to put in them new neurotransmitters is what they call it. That's why they say fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Because I had to start becoming that person I wanted to be when I was 30.
Yeah.
And now that I'm this age, I'm 44, sitting in this chair. Now I'm that person. And then 5 years ago, I thought of being a different person.
Yeah, it was painting that picture.
Yeah, always.
Out in the future.
Always the future, yeah. That's something I learned from you.
Oh, we talked about that.
Yeah, we did. A long time ago, you like, paint that picture. Yours is like 2-3 years and stuff. So
And you were like, dude, you can't even paint, Matt.
That's what I said. I was like, this motherfucker can't even paint. Why is he even around?
So if you don't want to go back and watch the whole first episode, I'd encourage everybody to go watch the first episode if you haven't. But our quick cliff notes of that is we met in the painting business.
Yeah, we did.
You were working with Jim.
I was in 2005. I just got out of jail.
Jim Holwagner.
Jail.
Okay, and what's the
not
difference?
work release?
Okay, what's jail? What's work release?
There's no difference.
What's prison?
Anybody who's in the system, I'm telling you, like work release, or even weekenders is like the same type of situation. It's just how long you're there and what you're doing. County jail is for 2-year sentences, basically. That's and then if you're going to prison, it's because you got sentenced longer than 2 years.
Long time.
The most of the time. Okay. Now, when you're inside, there's no difference. Like honestly, people say what they want. You can get more freedoms when you're in prison than you can if you're in jail. Like county jail is more restrictive on everything. You know what I mean? Like prison is where you're going to live. Yeah. Some people. And that's that's my opinion. That's the way I view it, And then county jails for like small sentences don't matter, little bit of crime, whatever. And then you go in there. You're in there for like a year, 2 years.
And then work release is that in between, right? You're out of
work release. You let yourself go to jail. So basically, you go to work, you put yourself back in jail. It's your responsibility. They come check up on you on the job site. They call you. They call your boss.
Yep.
They do whatever it is they need to do. And then when you're in weekenders, then you turn yourself in. I used to be like back then. It was on a Friday night.
Yes.
And you take you do the little blow machine. Make sure you ain't drinking. Then you spend the weekend in jail. Sunday night comes, you're gone.
Yep.
And it's like a big ass dorm. It's kind of like your jujitsu area down here. Honestly. Yeah. You got like bunk beds. You got
cots and beds.
Yeah, cots and beds. And I remember, being in weekenders, and we slept on cots. Yeah, out in the big old auditorium. It was like cleaning up the gym. We had the same kind of tables and everything. You pick them up, put them up in the wall, then you put your cots out. Yeah. Yeah.
So 2005, I'm just launching M&E.
Yeah.
And I got connected to Jim. Jim's like, hey, I got a couple of guys. We can come out and on the weekends come knock out jobs like Weekend Warriors.
Weekend Warrior. Let's go.
And I met you and I'm like, who's this guy? Right? Because I'm like angry and young and I think I'm all, my shit don't stink, running my business. And you're like, who's this guy? Can't even paint.
Yeah.
Coming out telling me what to do. And we never fought. Me and you.
No.
We never did.
Should
That's
we?
crazy.
Are we supposed to?
Well, we keep talking about it.
We do. Yeah. One day it's going to happen.
I have a broken neck now.
Oh, never mind. Bet. Never mind.
but yeah, I mean, but we talk about that, right? Like you were the technician in the business doing the work. You're like, how does this guy run a business? Like he doesn't even know what's actually like boots on the ground. Yeah. In the business. Yes. But you didn't really know much about business at that point. And then you get into the business. About business. That's kind of when we bumped back into each other and kind of hit it off. It was after your
after I was in college.
Yep. After college.
After I graduated college. Yeah, somewhere like that. Yeah. Actually, I think I reached out to you because I was like, you want to do lunch or what? Yeah, then you were like, yeah, because honestly, here's one thing I'm going to tell everybody too. Don't compare yourself to somebody else. That fucked me up a lot when I was in the beginning of this. So I could be somewhere farther if I didn't do that. But I compared myself to you a lot because you're younger than me.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. How old are you now?
I'm 44. I just turned 44.
Yeah.
July 17th.
Okay, I'm 43. Next month. No, this month.
So I would look at your success and be like, how the fuck does this do? Because in my brain, I thought you were lucky too. I thought somehow it was given to you because that's where I came from.
Yeah. You did think that, right? You thought I came from some money or something.
Yeah, I thought you were a
like
spoiled fucking brat.
Yes, you did.
That's what I thought. Yeah. I even told you.
I thought you were a dumb shit gangbanger or something, right?
Yeah, hell yeah. Because I was. I mean, let's call it like we see it. I was. Because I was naive, honestly. I thought I was going to rule the world gangbanging and selling drugs and shit because that's the peoples that I looked up to when I lived in the hood. I call it the hood, it is. It's literally the hood where we come from. So those are the dudes I looked up to. They had money. Yeah. Like they would kick me down some cash. They had gold chains on. They had jewelry. They had cars. They had chicks. They had everything that I thought I wanted. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that was my I was like, hell yeah, look at the older homies. How do you get money? Well, you ain't working. So tell me how it's done.
Is the paint or roof on your home or business starting to look a little shabby? If so, reach out to one of our sponsors, M&D Painting and Roofing. M&D Painting and Roofing is a full-service residential and commercial painting and roofing contractor in Northern Colorado. And full disclosure, I'm the M in M&D. Check them out at mdepainting.com. Are you a small business trying to navigate all of the landscape of digital marketing and don't know where to go? Reach out to one of our sponsors, Imprint Digital. They are the go-to source for all things digital marketing. They are the producers of this podcast, and they run all of the marketing for all of my companies. Check them out at imprint-digital.com.
Yeah, and that got me in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. So you get in all the trouble.
Oh, yeah. 30 was the last time I let myself out because of this book, 100%. So even when I was 30, for 2 years, I was broke as fuck. I was negative hundreds and thousands of dollars to the court, to child support, to everything.
Yeah.
And I mean, if it wasn't for Jim Wagner, that's why I love that man. He supported me for about 2 years of my life because I lived
real
off
life
of
Santa Claus, man.
I mean, I'm telling you, I love the shit out of that man.
He was awesome.
Yeah, he is amazing. He's an amazing soul.
What's up, Jim?
I know. I'm telling you, let's go, Jim. But honestly, for 2 years, he picked me up every day for work. And took time out of his day to do that, whether I was drunk, whether I was fucking sober, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
He was there for me 100%. And I lived off of $25 a day for about 2 years.
Yeah.
Because the courts would take him on, like I said on the last podcast, everybody was taking my money. Yeah. And I got sick of it, man. Because then again, I have a full-time job. I got no money. You know what I mean? Yes. And I told, Joey prior to this, I said, look, man, I remember a legit story. I was too prideful about a year and a half in to ask anybody for anything. So I literally ate bubblegum for 2 days before I got paid. Legit, just to have something to chew on, just to have something to swallow and put in my stomach. I told him I had 6 fucking pieces of bubblegum. And I was like, this is it. I ain't asking nobody for shit again. And I hit like rock ass bottom.
So when you talked about that, realizing, hey, this is my fault. I've got to change it. I've got to change my mindset. That whole reaching out and asking for help, right? And then reaching out to somebody that's successful. Like, I gotta go talk to this guy because he's doing something right. But then you also have that record playing or that song playing of like, yeah, but he probably got to hand it to him, right? Yeah. So you have that. But isn't that a big step? I mean, that was for me
huge.
Just reaching out to people and saying like, what are you doing? How did you do it?
It's scary.
Yeah. When was the first time you did that?
With you?
Was it with me?
Yeah,
really?
With you, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm here to do this.
Yeah, love that.
You know what I mean? Because I started in school. I started going to school because I was like, I can do this on my own. Fuck these motherfuckers. I've always been on my own. Like, honestly, I've been the only boy in my family. We don't have, like, regular family around like I spoke about. So, honestly, I've always felt alone in some kind of way, like that lone wolf, if you will. And I learned to not depend on people because then I would be disappointed. Yeah. So now I understand that's my trauma response now. If I'm gonna reach out to you,
just close off, make no connections.
Close it off quick.
Safe. You're safe that way.
Oh hell yeah! I'm gonna cut you off quick, fast, in a hurry because I got no feelings for you, none.
Yeah.
So I was like, how am I gonna do this? And then I always learned that when we were in school, I had it playing in the back of my brain like school is the answer. You can become a millionaire if you go to school. I ain't knocking on nobody's education, but for me that wasn't it. Honestly,
you were gonna go
mechanical engineering and stuff. Yeah.
I can see you like with a little button-up shirt. And,
well, the problem was, I said they said you could make $125,000 a year.
Yeah.
And at that moment in time, in my mind, $100,000 a year was a lot to me. I come from no dollars a year. Yeah. I came from I would probably made $35,000 a year painting, maybe if I was lucky. Yeah. And I got to see not even a fucking third of that for myself. Yeah. So I had nothing. I didn't care. I was like, cool, college is it. Let's go. But even though college didn't work out for me in the sense of mechanical engineering, it taught me how to learn.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm thankful for that. So I learned how to learn.
Yeah, and then you launched the businesses.
Yeah.
So painting's always been like that's your craft, your trade. Like painting's always going to be in your life, right? We were talking about that. Yeah. But like talk about the progression. So I mean, literally, you go from being locked up wherever it was, to getting out, to changing the mindset, to then finding mentors, talking to people, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna run a business, and then you sell it for like a good amount of money.
Oh yeah, like, but my net worth is good now. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. It's really good,
and we don't need to share.
No,
right? Because that's just
I mean,
that's your ego a little bit, like this many numbers, but dude, like you're good.
Yeah, I'm good. My family's good now, and that's the point of it.
So like changing the family tree. So like, what do you say to somebody that is they've gotten past that initial? All right, man, it's my fault. Changing the mindset, reaching out to mentors.
Oh, that still takes a little bit of time. Yeah, because then when I got into college,
it doesn't just go away.
No, I'm still here. You think I sit in this chair today and I still don't deserve this, and it still doesn't seem real. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because it just don't seem real. That's like I just been doing what I've been doing, just in a different way.
Yeah,
you know, and now it's paying off, and that's why. And honestly, I say why, but I've heard talks in the past, motivational speaking. You got to find your why, which is super important. But what happens when your why dies? Then you have to fucking understand. Because my why died. I'm like, I'm gonna do it for my kids.
I was gonna say, what was your why? How did
my why is my children. I'm breaking the generational curse.
Yes.
Period. Because my family comes from royalty. We did that whole, what do you call that? Where you look back and see where you're
the ancestry. Like
my auntie did that. So my wife's aunt did it.
Okay.
And we traced our lineage back to like England.
Really?
To where we were like kings and queens and royalty and things. And so I started looking at my namesake. My name is Harlee Newman III. And I used to talk mad shit about that name all the time. But Harold means
royal.
It is.
No,
it
really
is,
yeah.
And it's an 8-generational name.
Yeah.
Because it was Harold Arthur, whatever, Harold Arthur Harold.
Okay.
Like always in the lineage. And then it came down to grandpa. And then now down to me.
Fact check that? Joey, can you fact check that?
Fact check, Harold.
Independent third-party fact-checking is commencing.
All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate your time. But legit, the name means like army ruler or ruler of armies in English. So in my mind, that's a king. Well, kings don't really it's your version how you view what a king is. Well, kings rule people, but at the same time, they try to teach people.
Yeah.
Same way. So if I come from royalty and I'm going to be a king, then I better be able to teach my children how to act like it.
Yeah.
And I better break that lineage. I better break that curse. I better break something, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
I'm breaking it. It's over. It ends with me.
How did the Kings end up in Wellington, then Fort Collins? Did you trace from where it started down?
Yeah. They were still always in England, and then they came over on a boat. Yep. They came into New York.
Okay.
Which they haven't left yet. All my family still lives there.
Okay.
I honestly, I know nothing about them.
Wow.
100% nothing. Yeah. I know about my grandpa a little bit. He fought in the war, and my grandpa was a badass. 100%. Yeah. And people who knew my grandpa and then meet me later on are like, man, you remind me of your grandpa quite a bit. And I'm like, good, thank you. My grandpa was only 5'5", maybe 145, 150 pounds soaking wet.
Dang.
Yeah, but had farming hands. Just strong.
So your why, hey, I'm changing the family tree.
That's
doing this for my kids. But you said that died. How did that die?
In the beginning, this is how I explained it. Like my why was my children. Cool. Yep. That's pretty vague, right? I mean, because then you could dive deeper into it. Because then when that died, I sat down and said, would I allow my daughters to marry a man like me?
As you were.
As I was at that moment in time. And I said, no. So then I said, well, if I wouldn't allow my daughters to marry a man like me, then why would I be this man? Because they're watching me. So then they have to understand, everybody always said, your goals are attainable, but they didn't tell you how much fucking bullshit's in the way to get them.
Yeah, yeah.
And they didn't tell you how many times you're going to be tested to make sure you want it. They made it sound like, here's a piece of bubble gum, chew on it, and you can have everything you want. Let me tell you, if you're asking for something, the world or God or whoever you want is going to make sure you want it.
Yes.
And it's going to test you every way fucking possible.
Yeah.
And if you say that you're going to change, you better be ready because you're going to get tested every way possible to make sure.
Because you had some adversity. Like what were some of the things that came up against you in that?
I got no money.
Yeah.
I got a criminal background. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I walk and talk like this. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not your average, person, or that maybe I don't look like trustworthy person, and I wasn't a very approachable person because, I just wasn't in it. And now I've learned that it's maybe, I might be a little aggressive I might not be intimidated. I'm not intimidating you. You're just intimidated by me. That's it. So now I had to learn that as well.
Yeah.
Because I thought before it was me. And then I would negative talk myself like, there's no way I'm going to sell painting business. There's no way I'm going to sell jobs. I'm not an approachable person. I'm intimidating. I'm pretty aggressive. But then I just learned how to be aggressive differently.
Yeah. Just channel it.
Just channel it.
Own
Yeah.
it, channel it.
So everybody needs to understand, like, it all starts with self. You know, you got to know. And mine came from, like, again, eating that fucking bubble gum. $25 a week for 2 years. What are you going to do to me? I was broke as fuck already. Yeah, I'm not scared. Yeah. I starved. I'm not scared. You know? So, like other adversities too, like my criminal background, I'm telling you. And then, I mean, I have no help. I had no business friends.
Yeah.
I had none. Zero.
What did you think when you first started meeting all these business guys? Like, you obviously met me. We had our initial start. We circled back around 7, 8 year, what decade, right, later, start chit-chatting again. I had
stereotypical pompous fucking pricks.
But you kind of had a these guys are all the same.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
But then you start meeting them, and like, what was some of the cool stuff that you just found out? Just
I was like, wow, they're just like me.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, their backgrounds are just like me. Yeah. You know, that wow, they come from adversity just like me. Some.
Yeah.
You know, wow, they have a dark side. Some fucked up shit happened to them too.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm thankful now.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful that I got to meet people like that.
Do you kind of kick yourself in the ass and you're like, man, I should have met some of these people sooner?
Yes.
I know I've done that.
Yeah. Hell yeah, I did. Because, you know, it's very separated from, you know, wealthy to poor. Whatever that money amount looks like, it's very separated. It's very like, you know, these people have this perception. These people have this perception.
Yeah.
And if you can't learn how to cross that line and stick out your hand, you ain't never going to go nowhere, honestly.
You know what I'm curious about, right? Like now that, so you came from this just background of like just deep poverty, like physical, financial poverty.
Yeah,
mindset,
hell yeah.
Everything.
I have 5 outfits for the week.
Right.
Bet on it.
For the week.
Now, and then we went to the Savunda. The Savunda is the like Goodwill and shit. The secondhand store. We call it the Savunda. That's where we went and got our clothes. That's where we went and got shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one pair of shoes. My daddy told me, you fuck these shoes up, it's over.
No more shoes.
No. And then I would buy, honestly, I wanted to be an NFL football player when I grew up. So I would buy cleats sometimes. I get made fun of at school because I had cleats on all the time.
Yeah.
Because I'm playing football.
You
going to buy me one shoe?
To school.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah, I would. Yeah. School and football, done. Let's go.
Love it. So now that you sold the business.
Yes, sir.
Now you're like, you're wealthy, right?
Well, yeah.
How do you deal with that? Like, how do you manage that, right? So you're coming from this, you said you feel like it's sometimes like, I don't deserve this. I don't believe this.
Yep.
You know, and you talk about people that like win the lottery, right?
Yeah.
And they just come across a bunch of money and they never change their mindset. And like all of a sudden that's gone. So how do you manage that, steward that the right way?
I managed it before I got it.
Yeah. Curious
so
about
before I had it, I learned how to manage it, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So everything I do now is prior. I try to be, I don't try to be reactive. Yeah. I try to be proactive because I live my life very reactive. So then this book and a lot of other mentors and things came into my life and they're like, you need to learn, like, but even you, I'm telling you, that 2-3 year thing. Like if I had this much money at this time, what would I do with it?
Yeah.
And then I got the money.
Yes.
Years later. You know what I mean? And here we are.
Yeah.
So I knew what to do with it. You know, when I think it's a surprise, you don't know what to do with it. Yeah. Then you hood rich. I call it hood rich.
Okay.
Get that money. I got that money. Fucking spend it.
Yes.
Because you know what I've noticed on my travels, honestly, by learning how to be wealthy, because I don't want to be rich. I'm trying to be wealthy now. There's a difference. In my opinion, there's a difference. Rich is hood rich. Win the lottery, you rich. Wealthy is like, you get that money, you keep it.
Yeah.
You learn how to be wealthy, not be stingy. There's a difference. But now you can have money to make you money. You know?
You get bubble gum and a sandwich.
I got bubble gum in my mouth right now. I'm telling you.
You're always chewing bubble gum too.
Yeah, you know why? Because that's where I came from.
Yep. I like it.
That was the turning point for me. I chewed motherfucking bubble gum for 2 days. For breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Wild.
Because I was too prideful to ask for help, number one. Number two, it's not that the people that were offering me help wasn't the help I wanted. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you were getting out of that lifestyle, did you have a lot of people trying to pull you back in?
All the time.
To see people trying to exit a place in life that they don't want to be, and they get sucked back in so many
All the
times.
time.
Like you see them making progress. Like
Yeah.
how do you totally break out of that?
You have to
I
be
had somebody
secure
really
with
close to
yourself.
me. I'm like, they're almost there, and then
You have to be
Gone.
really secure with yourself.
yeah,
100%. Because if you're going to allow the crowd to pull you back, then you're not that person that you want to be yet.
yeah,
Because I went back and forth a couple times. Don't get me wrong, this ain't perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I went back and forth a couple times. You know, I miss hanging out with my homies. I miss being in the hood. I do every day.
yeah,
I miss that companionship. I miss that shit because you just sat there. There was no pressures.
yeah.
You just be you. Nobody cared. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be anybody else. Just you sit there, be quiet, and chill. I miss that. You know,
When's the last time you jumped back in there and saw some of the people from your past?
it's been years.
Yeah,
Yeah, years. At least 7 years now.
man.
Yeah.
You ever just bump into them? Like, just
Oh yeah, I
randomly
see them on the
out and
streets
about?
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I see them with their old ladies and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, who the hell is that?" You know. And let me tell you this story because this is the whole point of changing. So we go to City Park. We're at a barbecue. The homies come, and they see me there, and so they come. and They have a barbecue with us. I invited them to come hang out with me.
Yeah.
They come to the barbecue. We're chilling. The old hood shows up from back in the day, right next to us. They're barbecuing right next to us, and they got their family from California. So then the homies went over. Everybody's cordial now because we grown up. We grew up. We know each other. We've already done our thing. Blah blah blah. So we go over there, and they take me over there with them. So my homeboy's old lady was like, "Why'd you take Harlee over there?" You know. And so he told the story of my past and how it came up. And she's like, "I would have never fucking known." And he looked right at her and goes, "That's the point. That's the fucking point."
Yeah.
Yeah. And I said, "Boom." So that's how I knew.
He didn't know just by looking at you today?
No, he knew, but she didn't know I had a past.
Oh, she didn't know the backstory.
She didn't know my backstory because she brand new.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she said, "There's no way." You know what I mean? Like she couldn't believe it. And he goes, "No, that's my homie. That's from like, we were 13 years old putting in dirt till whatever time."
Yeah.
And then she goes, "I would have never thought." And he goes, "That's the point." And then he came over and told me he was proud of me.
Love that.
Yeah. And then he was like, then I told him, "Well, homie, this is being gangster. What I do every day, this is gangster. This is gangster to me now. Every day that what I do is gangster. I get up and take care of my family, number one. That's it, period. Number two, I make sure I take care of me."
Yeah.
And also, not everybody's going to agree with it.
If you've got junk in your life or business that you need removed, reach out to one of our sponsors, Hulk Addicts. They are a full-service junk removal company, and they'll be able to take care of you at your home or your business to get rid of whatever you don't want. Check them out at hulkaddictsjunk.com. As a small business owner, one of the things we will always need to address is a space to run our business. If you're looking to do a small tenant finish, maybe even build a building from the ground up, you've got to reach out to one of our sponsors, Mendel Construction. They are a full-service commercial contractor that can take care of your business needs to build the space and place of your dreams to run your business. Check them out at mendelandcompany.com. If you're a Christian small business owner, you have to check out one of our sponsors, the Foundry Advisory. They are a Christian peer advisory community here in Northern Colorado and the Front Range that is designed to give you encouragement, support, and insight to grow your business with other like-minded Christian business owners. Not only are they a sponsor and a partner of this podcast, but I'm also a member of their community. Check them out at thefoundryadvisory.com.
You know, like I got a close relationship right now that could have ended, you know, because of it. And listen, I'm okay speaking on it. My wife's okay speaking on it. I've had eyes for my wife since I was 12 years old.
Yeah, talk about that story because that's a cool
so
story.
I've had eyes for my wife since we were 12 years old.
Did she have eyes for you at 12?
No.
Yeah? You were a goofy looking little bastard, weren't you?
I was. Freckly.
Harold.
Goofy looking. I was that Harold.
You're a white farm guy.
I'm telling you. You know what? Honestly, I was too shy to talk to her.
Right?
Yeah.
So did you approach her?
No, she approached me. Come on now. Yeah, she came to me and made me be her friend. My face used to turn beat ass red every time I seen her. Every time. Didn't talk to her at all.
Yeah.
Super passive person. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. People can change. Like, don't be stuck in a mind. I was a super passive person. I didn't say anything when I was young. You know? Like, I was like, please, I don't want to be in trouble. I don't want to get fucking smacked all the time. Like, yeah. Because that's where I came from. Say something. Get smacked. Say something. Get fucked up. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you. You say what? They're just waiting. All the time. Reactive. Mad. Boom. Bam. Fuck. Here we go again.
So you just quiet down. Power down.
Don't say shit. They got nothing to say.
She comes up to you.
She came to my She came in because I'd always stare at her like, oh hey, you know. My face turned beat ass red. I'm telling you, I still got a crush on my wife.
Love that.
I give
man.
2 shits.
Yep.
I love the fuck out of my wife. I'm telling you, and my kids too. But you know, 3 years ago, she didn't want me to start another business. You know, so we had some conflicts because of it. Yeah. Honestly, so if you're gonna find a why, you better find a why that's stronger than that too. Because 100%, if she would have walked away from our marriage, I would have understood. Yeah, and I would have kept doing what I was doing because my why is heavier than that. And I would have been devastated, man. I'm telling you.
Is that like entrepreneurial stubbornness or like male stubbornness?
Nope. I'm breaking that generational curse. I'm the fucking one.
And you're more focused. That's more important.
Yes.
At that point.
Yeah.
To you.
Because I looked back at
your relationship.
Yeah, because I ignore my feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ignore them. You know, I see them, but I don't react to them.
Yeah.
And when I have fucked up feelings, then I express them. You know, I don't harbor on them. I don't, you know what I'm saying? But if I don't feel like doing something, I don't give a fuck. Get up and go. Shut the fuck up. Yeah. You know what I mean? My body hurts. Everybody's body hurts. We got injuries. We work through all kinds of things. My feelings don't mean nothing. If I'm going to be upset and I'm going to try to be sad because my wife's mad at me for starting another business or trying to make us financially stable, I can't do that.
Why? What were her concerns in that?
Because I'm gone. Because I was gone, you know, and she wants to spend time with me 100%. I 100% understand. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm trying to build a financial nest egg, if you will, for us. Yeah. And teach my children how to do this.
Did you start the business knowing you were going to sell it? Because
no,
you didn't.
Yeah, the fire suppression one, yes. Yeah. So it came 2 years early.
Okay. So you guys were planning to sell.
Yes, in 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we knew we were in a good niche. We still are. Yeah. We knew that what kind of cash was there because how it came about is so. I'll finish the story with my wife. I'll jump into that one. Yeah, but I was like, we had conflict because of it, you know. And in the back of my mind, I had that insecurity that she would walk away from our marriage. But I knew, like, I told her what I'm doing is at this moment in time was more important than her and I's nonsense. Because where I'm going and what I'm trying to show my children that is possible was more important to me because I've had the last near-death experience I had really put that into perspective for me. Yeah. Because I said, if I die today, will my children be proud of who I am? And they didn't know nothing about me, really. You know what I'm saying? They knew Dad had a painting business. That's what they knew. Yeah. But they didn't know how to get one. They didn't know they could get one. They had no idea they were capable of whatever they were capable of. So again, I found my why again, knowing I'm the motherfucker. I'm the one that's gonna break this fucking curse. I'm responsible for it. Yeah. I've always been alone with my whole life. So here I am again. So I'm the one. Yeah. And my wife and I can rekindle our relationship later because I'm not that dude. I'm fiercely fucking loyal. Fiercely loyal. And if we would have lost ourselves for a moment in time, I would have got it back.
So what happened? Did she just accept that response? Or was it just
I sold the business.
Friction filled?
I sold the business.
You sold the business.
And said, you're welcome.
Okay.
Because my wife comes from the same background I do. It's not, she doesn't think it's legit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it has to be there for her to understand it and trust it because we come from the same type of situation, you know? So then I was like.
Was that hard for both of you until you're like, here's the dollars and cents in the bank?
It wasn't hard for me because I seen it.
Yeah.
It was hard for her because she don't see it. She's not involved with me in it every day. Yeah. That's something somebody's got to take into consideration too, is your partner's not with you every day. They don't understand it. They don't see what's coming. They don't experience what you experience. So you have to be patient with them. You have to explain it to them. You know what I mean? You can't be reactive because they are, especially if they come from a place in the background where it's like, you know, they have trust issues or something. Yeah. Because you cannot react to their reaction. You have to try to react out of a place of love and be like, baby, I'm doing this because I love you. You understand? Like, this is for us. This ain't for me. You know what I mean?
Did you guys circle back around now that you've sold?
Yeah.
Have you reconnected on that?
Yeah.
So like, what's next? You're always going to be doing some kind of painting.
Let's go.
That's not going away.
Yeah.
You're gonna go paint little old ladies' houses for free.
I will.
Right? Didn't we talk about that?
Let me know. Yeah, let's go. If you got one,
job?
I'll go paint it right now. I'm more than okay with it.
But you want to start another business? Do you want to enjoy the fruits of all this labor? I mean, I there's one thing, you're downstairs and you're like, dude, that lit my soul on fire.
It did. Yeah.
What you just got to do.
Yeah. Right now, this lights my soul on fire. I got to go speak at a GED, thing. So, and back to the business real quick. We knew we started the business to sell it.
Yes.
So my business partner, Cameron, I've known since we were kids. We were the same knuckleheads. We partied together. Yep. We ran the streets together. We were out of the house, the same type of situation and stuff. He had a hood cleaning business that he had for 17 years. He sold that too.
Yeah.
So HC Fire and Safety came about because of the hood cleaning business. Yeah. And then everything else came about because we started coaching together about 7 years ago. And he asked me about it it's been about 4 years, maybe 3 years now. And then we sat down and we were like, yeah, let's do it. And then it was just him and I. And it was that extra time and all this other extra stuff. You know how it goes. Yep. Got to put in that business. Yep. So my painting business was profitable, so I took the profit and put it into that one.
Love it.
And then he got an offer for his business. He denied it a few times. They came back with a number. He was like, we can't deny this. He said, I can't. And I said, it's all you.
You did good. He did really good.
Yeah.
Right?
No, honestly,
You guys both did amazing.
Hell yeah.
So awesome.
Yeah.
How was that process of selling from like the initial call to, I remember you called me, you're like, what do I do?
It was intimidating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these are like big
oh my God. This is a corporate company in the whole world. You know what I'm saying? They're like nationwide.
Yes.
Yeah. So when we looked it up, we were like, what are we doing? This is crazy.
Did you feel like out of your league or?
Yeah, 100%. That's why I called you.
Did you have that same, these rich bastards are did you kind of have the stereotypical,
no.
Or did you go into it? Like, how were they just at the table? Just guys like
they
you?
Were good. Yeah. You and me.
Guys like you, man.
Yeah. The only guy that I really had an issue with was their lawyer, kind of. That's all. But that's his job. So I can't take it the wrong way. Yeah. But they were just like us. They're just having a conversation just like me and you. Yeah. Regular T-shirts, regular, just chilling, just talking. And let me tell you, when the sale was final, it was the most underwhelming feeling ever. It was really underwhelming.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you think you'd feel more like, oh my gosh.
My Lord, I thought I was, Right. I thought I was going to be doing somersaults and flips and backflips and all this crazy stuff, you know what I mean? And be like, let's party. Yep. You know what I mean?
But it was just back to work, right? She called me. You're like, yeah, it's done.
Yeah.
What are we doing now? Back to work tomorrow.
My business partner and I sat in the office. We had a few drinks, ate some fucking chicken wings and cried from where we came from to where we are now, honestly. Yeah. And then after that, trying to tell people that we got to sell a business and stuff, we got positive reactions, but a lot of it was negative.
You got to be careful who you talk to.
You do. And then take that and recognize that. Who's acting negatively. Yeah. Because they're not in your pocket. They're not in your court. So you better do something else.
Do you have any like long lost family that popped out? Like, hey, I'm your cousin.
I will after this. This is going live, sir.
It is. It is.
I mean, this is going live. So I will now.
Dude, I'm so proud of you, man. Like just knowing your whole story, everything, I mean, that we've shared and talked about offline. And we're here once a month for the men's mastermind.
Yeah, let's go.
Just getting real, man. So so cool.
That's in this book too. Think and Grow Rich. It tells you get a mastermind group. And that's where I learned how to get a mastermind group. I had to be like, I was the smartest person in the room. Yeah. And then I had to become the dumbest person in the room is how I put it. Nobody take offense to, but I had to become the dumbest person in the room so I can learn how to be somewhere else. Yeah. Because I know where the fuck I'm going. I'm telling you. I see it already. That's what somebody's got to lock onto. And if you lose stuff on the way, you know what I mean? Yeah. Pick up the pieces when you get there, because the day I pass away and my children are successful in their own mind, everybody's success is different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. But when they're successful in their own mind and they can be, look, I know a janitor who's a millionaire. Legit. It ain't about like the job you have. It's about like how much financial smarts and stuff you have. It's about making some money and learn how to make that money work for you instead of you trading your time for money. I traded a lot of time for no money, I say, because I was broke. I was fucking broke as a joke, boy. But now I'm going to trade. So the money that I did acquire is now going to give me time. Yes. Because now that money's going to make me money. Yeah. Now that's going to be extra money for my income.
About you've got to get through, what is it, like 2 years or is it 3? of you're now working for the company, right?
Yes.
Effectively that bought you. How was that transition? Was that tough to go from like do what you want, you know you're going to get it done, to like I got a boss now and I got to manage people and in a different way?
Yeah. But I go in there and run it like it's my own company because that's what I would expect somebody to do, you know, and there's a lot of policies that they have that we don't have, you know, and that's the difficult part about it is you just can't drop the hammer on somebody when they're being an idiot because there's procedures that have to happen.
Yeah.
There's paperwork that has to be done, and it makes you feel like you're babysitting instead of being like managing.
You were struggling with that a little bit at first, or at least the thought of going into that, right?
Yeah, so I've been in there now for a couple months.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still struggle with it.
Yeah.
Because we come from mom and pop shops, we like to call them. You know, there's no policy. If you show that you're not capable, then you leave. If you don't show up to work, you leave. It's easy as that. We write you a check, see you later. And nowadays it's different when you work for, I'm telling you, this corporation's huge.
Yeah.
Worldwide. So you have those policies and things, of course, to protect employees and such, you know, because there is people that are not so good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the same time, when somebody shows you and proves to you they're unreliable, then you should be able to be like, okay, dude, you got to fucking kick rocks.
Yeah.
You know, why are we doing this? This is not. And nobody has the same view as you. So you can't expect, you know what I mean? Like everybody has different perceptions of the way things should go. And then especially if they're in a higher position than you, you know, same thing. You can say stuff and it falls on deaf ears, you know, and then you're like, oh, these guys don't think I know what the fuck I'm doing, you know. But that transition will come. Yeah, it'll be all right.
A couple more years.
Right? Yeah.
Okay. And then so after that, you want to speak? Like what? You got a book in you? What do you?
I'm trying to do a book
Newman?
for sure, 100%.
Harlee Newman.
Man, so I went and talked to a financial advisor, something I never thought I would do in my life, honestly. And it was weird. And I was like, man, this is fucking amazing at the same time.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I used to be sitting in the hood with rags on, you know what I'm saying? Suited and booted, boy. Never thought I'd be going to talk to a financial advisor.
Yeah, he had the big brown desk and the suit.
Oh, he did?
Oh, yeah.
Man, this dude was like tall as Joey over there, too, like 6'5". But the closer I got to the building, I was like, this motherfucker is just growing.
Yeah.
But anyway, but I got to talk to him like business, you know? And then at the end, he goes, man, you should write a book. And I said, well, I probably should.
You got a book. You got a book in you.
I got a book or two, I think. Yeah, so definitely want to do that. We're already talking about starting another business.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's already.
You and Cameron?
Yeah. Yep. Mr. Cameron Kane. Shout out to Cameron Kane. Love that man. Let's go.
I haven't met him yet.
That man is a beast,
Person.
I'm telling you. He's a business beast. He had the Hood Guy for 17 years.
Yeah.
He started it from himself, you know.
Love that, man. Love that.
You can't be scared to start either because, listen, let me tell you, I'll tell you, because he's okay with it. He went to go get certified for hood cleaning when he was supposed to be on a honeymoon. Yeah. I went to get certified to be fire suppression on my daughter's birthday.
Yeah.
Who will never let me forget it. And I know they're mad at me.
Yeah.
But they don't have the same vision I do. So that's what I'm talking about. Like that is you got to grab that why and just keep going with it.
How do you balance like your why and your desire to like your family's need for time with you? Because I struggle with that. Like I remember back in the day, it's like, babe, we're growing M&A. Yeah. She's like, yeah, but like, and I go, it's not work for me. This is my like dream and my passion. She's like, well, it's work for me because you're gone.
Yes.
And you're not home at dinner or whatever that is. So we had to, I felt like, oh, you're shitting on my dreams, right? Because we're wired differently. Yeah. We talked about this. Emily's been on the podcast. It's like, well, hey, like, whenever I've gotten my big grand idea, she's like, well, it's going to take A, B, C. She's very logistical. And I'm like, why are you shitting on my dream?
Yeah.
So how do you balance that?
There's no such thing. So let's just get out the way. Because if you focus on work, your family suffers. If you focus on family, your work suffers. Is just my opinion. I try to have the most intentional time possible when I'm there. Yeah. Whether it's 15 minutes, 2 hours, 3, 4. I try to be very intentional with my time. Yeah. And it's not about me. And of course, the phone rings sometimes because our businesses go. They're just going all the time, nighttime, daytime, So of course I got to be like, I'll be right back. You know what I mean? But I try to make it as quick as possible, and everything is intentional. And I'm just focused in on the kids, especially, and whatever they need. Yeah, and I try to give life lessons as much as possible. Yeah.
You know, it's cool. You shared a story about your daughter, and she listened to our previous podcast.
Yeah, that's her.
Talk about that a little bit.
So she listened to our previous podcast, and she's comes from my past life, is like I call it, because I wasn't a great person then, and I wasn't a great parent.
Yeah,
I didn't know how to parent.
Yeah,
and so she listened to that podcast and really changed her mindset. You know, and my older son now looked at the podcast as well. So I just rekindled with him too. I know we talked about it. Yeah,
we did.
We did.
How was that?
Yeah.
How was
it was
that
good.
coming
I
along?
went to his house the other night.
Okay.
I got to see the grandkids.
And
everything.
nobody hit anybody or anything?
No,
Love
it was
that,
good.
Dude.
Yeah, so
Good job, man.
he caught a hold of the podcast too and was like, wow, I didn't understand. Because like I said, I hustle in silence, but my daughter took the podcast we talked about and was like, wow, Dad. Yeah. She came on our podcast, actually. Reformed Bad Boys, she came on our podcast a couple
I didn't know
times.
she came on.
Yeah.
Good, man. She doing well?
She's doing well, yeah.
Good.
Yeah. She, again, struggles,
Totally.
setbacks.
Yeah.
But as long as you're moving forward, let's go. It's all about that progression.
Yeah.
Don't think perfection. You know what I'm saying? Like progression.
Yes.
Yeah, because you're going to move forward sometimes and get sucked right back.
I'm curious. So you had kids when you were younger? Like,
Oh, yes, sir.
I wasn't a bad dad. Like you were on drugs. You had all this stuff going on.
I drank in front of them, partied in front of them, banged in front of them.
Reconciled with them? Like, have you had conversations with them today? Like, what do those conversations look like? How do you reconcile some of those just mistakes and mismarks from back then?
Well, first they have to understand that you've changed.
Yeah.
They have to see it because their perception of the world is what their perception is. I'm never going to change it. Yeah. They have to perceive that I've been doing something different. And now that I have a track record like I do, and then I podcast and they understand it, now they come to me.
Yeah.
And then now they ask me how that happened.
So
and they understand where I came from.
Yeah.
And they understood where I came from. They understood their background because they lived it. And they were like, wow, if my fucking dad can come from here and now he's right here, how did he get there?
Yeah.
So now it's like personal. It's not them coming to you. They're not on the outside looking in. Now it's me.
Yeah.
I've been in their life and I did it. So, and I'm at this point now. So now they look at me and they say, I'm telling you, if he can do it, I'm going to do it. Fuck it, let's go.
But they didn't know. Like you said, your daughter didn't even know that part of your story.
Nope.
So you think that, there's power in sharing that. Like as crazy as that story is.
Yeah.
I mean, talk to anybody listening to this with any kind of background.
Anything.
Like there's power in sharing it. That is your biggest tool. It's what Painted Baby's about, right? Like building relationships and connecting with everybody. And
get that Painted Baby book. I love that book.
We got JJ out here. Yep.
You know what? And honestly, when I picked up the Painted Baby, I was like, another business book from Matt. Here we go. But then I read it and I was like, damn, this is good. You know what I mean? Like it hit a chord.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, it really hit a chord, honestly, 100%.
It was fun to share that. I had worked on that for 8 years. I started and stopped it and just couldn't finish it. And then I really locked down in 2022.
Man, it's a good story, man. It's a good thing.
Yeah,
it's fun. Yeah, it was good. It's good.
Yeah.
Get it. I'm telling you.
Get it.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that my kids keep doing what they do. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then they'll see me because I'll have another business. And you don't stop when you're hood rich. I just say right now I'm hood rich. You know what I mean? And that money ain't my money.
Yeah.
I didn't make any money yet. Yeah. Is my mindset because my money ain't coming yet. So my money will be later.
I have a not random question, but
go. Somebody's
listening to this, like, cool, Harlee. All right, you came out of the hood, good for you, mindset. But like they just still don't believe it. Maybe they're so far into life and into bad decisions that they don't think they can do it. Mm-hmm. They're like, nah, I don't believe any of this. Like, cool for you, not going to happen for me. What do you say to somebody like that that's just so in that pit still? They can't get out.
They got to quit using the word can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's number one. Because you can. You can fucking get the fuck out, I'm telling you. Let's go. I did. You got to quit saying can't.
But my situation's different. Like, I want to be like devil's advocate.
Yeah,
right?
hell
I hear
yeah.
these people. Yeah, my situation is different, man. I got it harder than you did.
How? How can you get out?
Can't.
Because you keep saying can't. Because you keep using that word can't. Mm-hmm. And every time you keep saying can't, you're not going to believe you can. Yeah. But there's motherfuckers on the outside. You like one step away from success. 100%. It takes one step at a time. And once you leave that comfort zone, the problem is they can't because they don't want to be uncomfortable. Like, I'm going to speak to you like you're that man. You don't want to be uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Let's be legit.
Yeah.
You want to take responsibility for yourself? You have to.
Yeah.
And you said can't. And you're not taking responsibility for what the fuck your actions are.
No.
Yeah, because I'll use an example. I talked to somebody like that. I said, you just pointed the finger at everybody but yourself.
Yep.
You said it's this person's fault because they didn't pick me up for this.
Yep.
It's that person's fault that I didn't make it because they didn't do this. This person didn't give me the money they were supposed to get back to me, so I couldn't do that. Always a reason.
And I think people that so strongly commit to the reason why they can't, if they would just commit half that energy to a solution to change it, they'd be in a totally different spot.
I'm telling you, you say how instead. That's what I started asking myself. How? I didn't say I can't get this. I
Change the question.
I said, how can I get this? Changed my life completely. You know?
Yeah.
I said, how can I do this? And when you start asking that question, you're going to get answers. Now you have to use them. Again, it's a self thing. You have to do it. You can't just sit there.
And when you first start having those little bits of success, you kind of start doubting. You're like, hold on, that was just luck.
Yes.
That shouldn't have happened.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about that. And you've just got to keep going.
Yeah. It's that compound interest thing they talk about.
Yep.
Yeah. You're going to put in a ton of fucking work and get nothing.
Yeah. Pennies, 2 pennies. Now it's 4 pennies. Now it's 8 pennies.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you. Or like the Chinese bamboo tree. That story changed my life. You ever heard that story?
I think so.
So the Chinese bamboo tree gets watered daily, if I'm not mistaken, and fertilized daily for 5 years.
Fact check this, please.
Fact check this, Joey, please. I believe it's the Chinese bamboo tree. Let's make sure nobody gets in trouble.
Fact checking.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time. So back to it. But you water this tree all the time, this bamboo tree, and you fertilize this tree, and it never breaks the surface for 5 years. And go, why? Because it's growing roots. It's growing them roots that you need to grow. So you ain't going to see me change. From 30 to 35, who saw me change? Not a fucking soul. So, and then I got 36, bam. Now we got somewhere.
Yeah.
And then somebody was like, oh, well, you just know that because of this. I'm like, yeah, bet on it. Into my 40s now, success. Paid off my debts. Let me tell you, I'm when I say I was negative money, I'm negative money, man. Like some people say,
been there.
Oh, yeah, you got negative money. I mean, I was like negative 6-figure money almost compared
that
to
guy
what?
with nothing has a lot more than me. Yeah.
Yeah. I heard that story of Donald Trump. Look at the homeless man. It was like, that dude got more money than me.
Yeah.
And that's a legit story. So it doesn't matter. Like, that's when I knew I didn't want to look rich. I wanted to fucking be wealthy and be rich. You know what I'm saying? Because I tried to look rich all the time. But anyway. Well, that's another podcast. Podcast 3 coming at you shortly.
Well, I want to dig in, man, before we leave, too. Like, you got such a passion to speak to kids.
I'm telling you.
Where you were. Mm-hmm. And what does that look like? Like, how are you driving that dream forward? So,
man,
like,
so
you're
like,
different, like, when you get to do that, oh, my gosh, that's just...
Oh, man, lit my soul on fire. I got to talk for 15 minutes at a GED graduation for, like 10 children in an auditorium full of parents and people that came right from my background and locked them in for 15 minutes. I'm telling you. Yeah. And it was amazing, and it was the most fulfilling thing I've done at this point, besides my wife and children. Yeah. And doing something like that really sets my soul on fire.
But that audience, like your audience is going to be, man, rough crowd.
Oh, well,
kids,
let's go.
People. Can you go back into a jail yet with your background?
No, hell no. They won't let me in.
You're going to go to Platte Valley.
I was going to go to Platte Valley, remember? Yeah, because you spoke over there.
They brought me in instead.
Good job.
I didn't get good reviews.
No, you did not. I heard
they didn't connect. No, and I knew that pretty.
Well, you should have talked to me before you went. I would have been like, Matt, they're not going to connect with you. I didn't connect with you right away.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I was like, let me in there, and the lady said no. The director lady said no.
Can't.
Yeah, said I couldn't, and I was like, what? Because she's like, yeah, because your background. I said, no, you need somebody like me in there. You should have seen these kids locked in. This is how I opened my talk with them about the GED, because this lady's like, this man has 2 successful businesses, They didn't know I sold one. I hit him with it when I was there.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, yeah, well, anyway. She's like, and he got his GED. She was like, where'd you get your GED? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, I got my GED in jail.
Yep. Oh.
Everyone.
Yeah.
I said, yep, I was in jail. And then everybody was locked in then. I was like, done, let's go.
Yeah.
And I told him, you got to change the way you view things. Change your perception, number 1. Mindset, change your perception, bro. Yeah, GED, greatness every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or GED, gain emotional dominance. Because if you can do that, that's it. I'm telling you.
Love it.
So, hey, where we go from here is this. I got the same passion. I didn't make me money right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is family money. This is my family's money.
So proud of you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Dude, thanks for coming out.
Yeah, no, I appreciate being back. This is good. It's going live. Let's go.
Well, and thank you, man. Thank you for supporting the new book, man.
Oh, yeah,
let's
go.
Offline, you were like, hey, I'm going to donate a box of books to,
now you're going to put me on
somewhere.
Front Street.
No, I thank you. Thank you for that, man. Dude,
Yeah,
I love
definitely.
That. I love that.
Yeah.
You've got a card.
Yes, I do. Let's go.
We end the same way. Same way. We're in season 2 now, man.
Is
But we're
that
ending it the
time
same
already?
way. We've been jamming on an hour.
Oh, wow, let's go. I thought the clock is gone. That's why I spun and looked. Usually you got a little. Oh, the clock.
It's right there. I'm watching.
Oh,
I'm keeping on track.
Here we
We're about
go.
55 minutes, right, Joey?
Where we at, Joey?
Yeah, no, we're at an hour 23 seconds, but we had a little talking at the beginning, so yeah, we're
Bam, let's go. Okay, so my card, here we go. I say movement brings motivation because a lot of people talk about they don't have motivation. Well, when you start moving, that's when you get motivated. You know what I'm saying? I had no money, so money wasn't going to motivate me. I had to get moving to get some money is the way that I like to put it. You know what I mean? I say perspiration brings inspiration because when you're out there busting your ass and you ain't happy, that's when the best thought processes come because you don't want to do this. You better find out if you want to do it or not. If your answer is no, then you're going to be inspired to do something else. You need to get out there. I say rely on discipline, not motivation, because motivation comes and goes. But if you discipline yourself, like whether you want to or not, you're going to do it. And that's what the fuck it takes. Number one, discipline, 100%. If you ain't disciplined, then
Love it.
And then I said, you got to find your why and forget your fucking feelings. Period. Because 100%, this ride ain't for the weak of heart. I'm telling you. There you get. It's an emotional roller coaster, and no matter what emotion you're riding on that day, you better get up, get fucking moving. Let's go.
Harlee Newman.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for being on here, man. That's a wrap.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for tuning into this week's episode. Would you make sure to please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel here, and please share this episode with somebody whose life it will make better. Are you a faith-based father and you want to have the adventure of a lifetime with your son? You have to check out the father-son hike of a lifetime on the Camino de Santiago in Spain. June of 2025, I'm going to be taking a small group of fathers and sons over to Spain. We are going to spend 6 days, hike 70 miles, have some of Spain's most amazing cuisines, see some of the most beautiful places and spaces, but most importantly, spend time together bonding with our sons. If you're interested in this adventure, check out mattshoup.com. When you get to the website, click the Gentle Art of Leadership button and hover down to the Father-Son Hike of a Lifetime.